Good evening, Rust enjoyers. I hope you're doing right, because it's time for the predictions video. Yes, just a few hours ago, all of these skins rotated into Rust Door, and basically, in this video, we're going to go ahead and try and figure out which of these skins potentially might be the best investment for this week, which of these skins might help us walk away with some sweet, delicious looking profit. So sit back, relax, I'm going to start yapping. Right, so, I really got to get this point across now. Yes, player counts, very nice, very, very wonderful to see. But we're now starting to notice a lot of Rust skins in general at the moment have already peaked. You might notice that, well, June was ridiculous with its average player count. We're doing worse compared to that right now. It's not the end of the world. As I said, 95,000 is still absolutely ridiculous, as you can see right there. But we are now slowly going down. Rust skin prices, player counts, it's going to get exactly like we saw last year. A very nice high point in the summer. As we get closer to the autumn fall seasonal time, it's going to dip. Less people playing, less demand for skins, skin prices will drop. So as you look at the likes of these skins right here, some of them are selling for quite high prices. That's interesting, but it makes it also very questionable if we're actually going to see these skins retain their value. So please keep this in mind from here and now. You very likely do want to keep, just stick with doing buy orders. Now, I talked quite a fair bit about this in regards to the recent video I made, Rust skins affected by the autumn fall seasonal dip. Basically, you could just watch one set of the examples, because there's a whole batch of them over here with the chapters, but you'll get a good idea how quite a lot of skins do routinely dip down in price during that period of time, but then they go back up again. So if you know when it's going to happen, well, get your money now, wait till it, eventually happens, jump in, grab those skins when they're at their cheapest. So please keep this all in mind. Same thing can be said with the likes of these skins. They might do a decent job retaining their value for a short while, but don't be surprised at all if they do drop off, alright? So with that in mind, a good buy order can always lead to a fairly decent bit of profit. But I am going to sit here and question, out of all of these skins, what am I feeling most confident about? I think I will still lean onto the likes of the Neon Hazmat locker, alright? I don't think this is selling as much, or it doesn't have nearly as much momentum as the previous week's locker. And lo and behold, with a brand new locker being accepted today, it goes all the way up to $4. It seems to be emulating the small boxes, which of course, if we can remind you, as I go over to here, when we had the fuel storage, we were questioning, were we actually going to see another continuation happen? Lo and behold, food appeared. Awesome. That went up to $4 as well. But what happened was, all of the, these three in particular, the following small boxes that got accepted afterwards did eventually end up dipping below the Rust Door price. I know meds this up a little bit more, but it did dip at one point. So what we have to keep in mind is this Neon Hazmat locker very likely will be the one that dips in price sooner compared to the likes of this one. But in the long term, in the further future, will that still potentially rise back up and match up to its Rust Door price and potentially go above? I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised by it. We don't really get that many locker skins being accepted. I know last year we got quite a lot, including Twitch drops and whatnot. So far this year, we've only had 2. We're halfway through this year. Do you reckon we'll still see more? Well, of course, it's expected there will be a third one, Tier 2. But I also have to question, do you really even need a Hazmat locker? Feel free to comment below. But yeah, we're expecting a group of 3, potentially 4, we shall see. I wouldn't be surprised if we get the third one. I wouldn't be surprised. And it'll be the only locker collection we'll ever have, potentially, we'll see. But I can still seeing it working out right in the long term, but if I want to be smart with my money, I'm going to wait until around October time. October time typically is the period of time where most Ruskins will be at their lowest point of the year. And then from then on, it cannot go any lower, and you'll actually start to see skins rise up in price all the way towards the likes of January time, where they peak again with post-Christmas, because loads of people jump back in and play Rust again, because, time off from school and whatnot. You get the idea. Anyway, with the likes of this, I think I will be sticking with doing a buy order. It's also abnormal, and if you don't know what abnormal means, please consider watching my most recent Rust skin abnormal buy orders video. Watch the first 5 minutes, skip ahead, watch the actual buy orders happen. In short, certain skins will become marketable at an earlier set time before the Rust Door rotates, and we can use that to our advantage, get our buy orders down, look at the support afterwards, and get a good idea if it's looking safe to actually jump in and invest into them. So Hazmat, I can still be questionable with you, but out of everything here, it does seem to be one of the most reliable things, more specifically for the long term. But will that go below its $2.49 price in the future? Wouldn't doubt it. So yeah, buy orders are probably the way to go. Now, next up, I think I'm going to talk about Commando Tier 3. But it's also very strange. $4 a piece. Okay. That's a little bit awkward. However, if this ends up not selling that much, and we do still see the likes of the Tier 2 hoodie and pants being produced and accepted in the future, alright, fair enough, that's not too bad. But let's just jump straight in and talk about how... Is this a budget blackout option? No. Blackout Tier 3 is actually fairly cheap. Chest plate costs $4, a face mask costs about $7. Alright, but how does it compare? Well, please consider watching my Rust rotation video when it's out. Basically, with great thanks to Mr. Micro who helped me out, we did a nice little comparison between the two of them. Blackout still king in terms of not being that reflective and whatnot. But is that really necessary? It's very hyper analytical, you know, you're really looking at it and yeah, so basically I think you might be fussing about it a little bit too much. Also, please take this in consideration. Blackout Tier 3, how much did that sell in the end? Like 50,000 each for the Tier 3 pieces. So things are awkward. It's strange, I know. But let me get this across to you. Doesn't matter. So as long as we see Tier 2 hoodie and pants being produced and accepted as well, we should still expect the spike on spike in price. But we do have to remember all the previous budget blackout options. But this isn't necessarily a budget blackout option. The funny thing is, Kosem was the man behind the likes of the Legacy Kevlar. Now, Legacy Kevlar is cheaper. Yeah. But it also did 50,000 sales there for the hoodie and pants, so oversaturate by itself. There is the quantity in circulation versus the genuine demand. There's far too much quantity, therefore what happened? It all got thrown onto the Steam market, third-party sites, there's too much of it. And nobody really wants that much of it, I guess. So, value has not held up very well. The other skins here, though, like the Tier 2, the boots and the gloves, they've done alright, because they sold a much more reasonable amount. This right here, with its price, I kind of get the feeling it might do pretty low sales. And if we do see those continuations, it's expected we'll still see the lovely spike demand, spike in price, and of course the lovely momentum, the price go up. And if there's only so much of it to go around, maybe it actually goes up in price quite nicely. But with the amount of money you invest towards it, is it going to be really worth it? What happens if at some point in January time, both of these are selling at $6 a piece? Awesome, profit. But I spent $4 to get, what, $2 back? And then there's also tax, so you probably only walk away with like $1.50 profit. Is that still good? That's something for us to question. And then, of course, after talking about that and the autumn-fall seasonal dip and whatnot, is that potentially going to go below its rust price around October time? I wouldn't be surprised. So here's how it's going to go. I want to see how many sales have happened, look at it on Wednesday night, and consider how I'm going to approach it, what price to offer and whatnot, you know, in terms of the abnormals, because those two skins right there, they're abnormal. We're going to do abnormal borders, look at the support afterwards, and question after that how we're going to go about it. But honestly, I think I'll probably just stick with doing a buy order. But if this only does about 15 sales by next Wednesday, things are going to be different then. I will be questioning it a lot more. So it's all up in the air. But we'll see what Kosem does in this upcoming weekend. We'll see how many sales. You get the idea. So be patient. Let's see how it plays out. Then we'll move on. Next up, I'm going to talk about the likes of the Abyss Metal Double Door. Now, with the likes of this, I will not be surprised in the slightest if it goes below its rust price. Again, with all of these skins. But in the further future, will we still see more of the likes of the Abyss collection? I mean, it's a pretty big collection at the moment. More deplorables potentially on the horizon? I mean, wouldn't doubt it. I'd love to see more. Small box? A rug maybe? Who knows? But with the arrival of this today, we didn't really see that much traction with the likes of the other deplorables. We seem to be past that, like, sort of momentum now. Like, again, we're starting to see things slowly go down now, which is unfortunate, which is awkward. And we also had to question, how many sheet metal double doors are we going to get this year? Because we have a lot. This is ridiculous, and it's becoming a problem. I will not be surprised in the slightest if we do see more double doors throughout the rest of this year. Twitch drops? Won't be surprised. Is there any Twitch drops on the horizon upcoming? Not that I'm aware of. But at one point, you see the Space Airlock double door earlier this year? That was selling up to about $4. Because we got all of these other options, it's now gone back to evens. And let me tell you, that will be going below its rust price in just a couple months' time, along with all these other double doors. I really wouldn't be surprised. That right there, maybe with a smart buy order, we can still walk away with some sweet, delicious profit. But how low will it go? That's questionable. How many sales will it have by next Wednesday? We'll see. But that will definitely impact the value of it. It's a sought after, well-liked collection. The deplorables do very nicely. That double door, I think, can have a lovely long-term future, but I think I will be specifically trying to target the, the decent price to offer with a buy order. I'm sorry to say, I know it might sound a little bit awkward, but yeah, it will be going below its store price. I wouldn't be surprised. So, again, I feel more confident in how to approach it next Wednesday. We'll see how many sales happen. You get the idea. Right, with all these remaining skins, it's all questionable now, like really questionable. So, I'm going to kind of blitz through this as soon as I can, or fast as I can. I'm going to do it all in order. And yeah, let's just jump in. Neonwire Door. Looks cool. Very interesting looking glow in the dark. It's a sheet metal door though. What's the problem? Take a look at all the sheet metal doors that you see right here. Oh dear, yes. Like 2 weeks ago, we had that The Fiend metal door, glow in the dark. Looked pretty cool. Sold for $2.49 as well. It's now selling for 94 cents. So many of these doors sold for a fairly higher price, and look at the state of them now. Do you really believe that won't end up like the others? Of course it will. Come on now. There's far too many sheet metal double doors that exist. There's far too much to compare to. I have doubts. I will be just sticking with doing a barter. It's abnormal, but I don't think I'll be offering much. My first base wooden door. Okay, cute, silly. Very likely we'll start off a brand new collection. That's nice to see. Congratulations, Spinoza. However, wooden doors. Just take a look at the past 3 years' worth of wooden door skins and see how well they've performed. That one is an anomaly. It was manipulated, so it will disregard that one. I'm not going to say the prices, but basically just look at all of that. Look at all the negativity. I know. So, yeah, that's not looking to be a very reliable investment, is it? Sorry to say, but you could see it with your eyes, so, yeah, you get it. But at the very least, you don't have to avoid something. If you truly want it, support those skin creators. Buy it, use it, enjoy it, support the skin creators, keep them nice and motivated, keep wanting to put out nice creative designs in the future. But if you're looking at trying to make a nice, lovely investment, yeah, you're going to have to be a little bit more, cautious, I shall say. So, wooden doors, not exactly a reliable investment, and it wasn't too hard to notice. Pirate Furnace, right. So, we've had quite a lot of pirate skins. It's one of the biggest collections in Rust, for sure. We've had a few deplorables, and they're down by 12.43 free. Awkward. With the arrival of this today, it didn't even make that much of a difference. And you might bring up and sit there and say, but Hedge, that Pirate Furnace has a different coloured interior. Surely that's special. And yeah, there are quite a lot of furnaces with different coloured interiors that have performed quite nicely, but recently, Blackberry Furnace down 23%. Neon Vibes Furnace up 89%. Spider Cocoon Furnace down by 45%. Oh dear, oh dear. Last year we also had the likes of Abyss Furnace. That's up by 59%. Before, every single furnace with a different coloured interior did nicely, but with what we've seen here, and of course with here, it doesn't look as reliable anymore. So that furnace right there, hey, I think people like it based on the nice sort of ghost ship aesthetic. I'm interested, but I don't think it's reliable. I think I'm better off just sticking with doing a buy order. Sorry to say. So, we'll talk more about that this Wednesday. Moving on. Cold Hunter Waterpipe. Do you know what? I'm going to save that for last. Because it's interesting. Pirate MP5. Oh, look. 2 pirate skins in the same week. Well, it's happened before. But anyway, MP5 skins. How are they holding up? Not good. Not good. Not good. Some are doing alright, but the ones that are doing alright are part of well-established collections, but Pirate's an interesting collection, isn't it? Some of the weapons, or at least just the Thompson, you're doing alright, but Python down, SAR down, MP5, oh, AK, yeah. Honestly, I do lean more towards the likelihood that it's going to go below its store price. How low will it go? I don't think it's going to go dramatically down, but it still will go down. Let's keep an eye on the sales. Let's look at them Wednesday, but it will be cheaper. So wait until we can do buy orders. Rainjoy Large Box. Congratulations, Kessa, for your first ever skin to be accepted. But it is a large wood box. How many of those have we had recently? Quite a lot. Yes, we have. Now, it's definitely not a number that's compared to the past, but in the past we've had, like, you know, storage collections come out. So basically, in recent times, we've been seeing a lot of these large boxes. There is a large box Twitch drop coming out at the end of this month, the fancy orb one. So this doesn't even glow. It's nice and colourful, but doesn't glow, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people aren't going to be very happy about that. Awkward. Please consider watching my Rust Door rotation video just to get a good look at it, because it still is very bright at night. You can still see it, but yeah, I am very sceptical. It's not abnormal. We can't use that time to our advantage, but it's only selling for $1.49. But as of now, it's not really selling that much either. Yeah, so looking at the state of that, I honestly think I'm just going to stick with doing a buy order. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if I could pick those up for about $1 each. Moving on, Smouldering Barricade. Well, we just had a barricade recently, and whilst it's done pretty okay in terms of retaining its value as of now, I will not be surprised if that suffers and struggles around October time. Will not be surprised. Look at the ones that came out the previous year. Look at those. Tombstone Barricade, down 54. Adobe Barricade, down 69. Anyway, with the likes of those two skins here, they do glow in the dark. But tell me what you can use a barricade for. Tell me. What do you use them for? I don't really know. Decoration? Is that it? Roleplay? It's not enough to really keep me confident with it. And yes, this is part of the Smouldering collection, which glows in the dark and looks quite nice, but none of that's really holding up very well either. So unfortunately, with the state of that, I'm just not really confident. Sorry to say. I think I could probably pick those up for about 50 cents in the future. And then we've got the likes of the Royal Safari SAR, lowest selling skin so far. There is a collection currently brewing up. Gold with tiger stripes, pretty cool, but you know the AK isn't exactly holding up very well. And then you take a look at all the SARs that came out this year, and they're not really holding up very well either. Two are doing alright, and then all the ones from the previous year, none of them. So yeah, will you be able to pick that up for a cheaper price? Wouldn't doubt it. I could probably pick that up for about $1 in about 2 weeks' time. Sorry to say, but that's the way things are currently going at the moment. So that was nice, straightforward. I know, sorry to say, but yeah. Bilders are definitely the way to go from here and now. Yes, I was fairly confident with these skins, but I do still stand with the idea of just sticking with doing a Bilder. It might be okay in the short term, but in the long term, I'm talking 2 to 3 months, down. Right, so sorry to be like that, but I'm sure you get it. Now, at the very least, we can be positive for the future of Rust because, well, if you're keeping an eye on the commits and whatnot, you might notice there's a lot of interesting content potentially on the horizon. Food caches, a boomerang. I don't know how that's going to work. We also can see the likes of Redtown Redux very likely going to be ready for August Force Wipe, so, you know, brand new monument on the horizon potentially. We also have seen the likes of a potential brand new DLC kit, a new Hazmat, tools, not sure what else is there, but yeah, I think it's going to be like a Wildman design. And then we also have the Blunderbuster, a brand new shotgun of sorts. It's like a better Ioka. And what we've also noticed somewhat recently is jungle content. Tigers, panthers, crocodiles, snakes, and of course, jungle ruins. There's very likely, potentially going to be a new biome that might be the jungle. At the very beginning of this year, Facepunch had a blog for January, and they talked about what they wanted to add later down the line, such as bikes and whatnot. A new biome was one of them. And with all the mentions of jungle ruins, so I just go over to here. If I just type this in now, and what do you see? There you go. Now, why would they want to introduce Jungle Ruins Monument? And where are you going to put that? The desert? The foresty areas? The snow? No, I don't think so. We might need a new biome for it. So, guys, all I can sit here and say is keep an eye on the commits, see all the new content that's being worked on, and be aware of all the stuff that's about to come out soon, potentially, right? So, keep informed, and of course, keep an eye on your skins, more specifically your Bilders. Over the past year or so, you've probably done tons and tons of Bilders for many, many skins, but prices are dropping, alright? You've got to monitor them. I'm so sorry. I know it's work, but you don't want to be the guy that gets dumped on and spends loads of money and then struggle to sell those skins to get your money back and whatnot. You don't want to be that guy, do you? So you've got to put an effort in. You've got to keep an eye on your Bilders. I didn't forget about the Waterpipe. Anyway, why did I save this for last? Well, basically, this is the first Waterpipe skin to be accepted in 2.5 years. And as you look at all of them, you might realise, we really don't have many of them, do we? Well, that's very likely the reason why so many of them are in the positive, except 2. So 24 of these in total. You're going to probably sit there and ask now, okay, so what's the likelihood we're going to see more of these being produced and potentially accepted in the future? I doubt that. See, over the past 2 or so years, I've seen quite a reasonable amount of these being produced, perfectly fine quality and whatnot. Facepunch just didn't accept them. Okay, well, that kind of leans me towards the idea that we're probably not going to be seeing more of these, and we're going to go through another drought for the Waterpipes, which is quite ironic. But I will sit here and say this. With this being accepted today, other skin creators surely noticed and probably are thinking, hey, I could probably go and make a Waterpipe as well. So, with the next 2 weeks, of course, you might want to keep an eye on the workshop and see what potentially is going to be produced. But we also got to keep this in mind, just because we're very likely not going to see another skin potentially being accepted for a long time for Waterpipes, doesn't necessarily mean that's not going to blow its Rust or price. You could be reminded of all the recent Cold Hunter weapon skins we've had, and that doesn't paint a pretty picture, does it? Now, again, it's all based on gun demand in-game. Do these weapons even get used that much? Do people even like the skin that much? It's debatable. You can see these are beloved, but not these that much. Waterpipes. How often are you using them? Feel free to comment below. I'd love to hear everybody out. I lean with the idea that, yeah, that's still very likely going below its rust or price, but I'd be very curious to find out, are you using water pipes that much to justify wanting to use the skin? Feel free to tell me, and we'll see. So I think that potentially might still go down to potentially around $1.50, maybe less, we shall see, but it's still looking very interesting. We'll wait until Wednesday, we'll see the sales, then we'll question it. Perfect. Right, so thank you very much for watching me, I greatly appreciate it. Have a lovely week, and yeah, go and enjoy yourself. Catch you later, see you and goodbye.